traders, welcome back to Pokemon Deck Check. I would be Pokedad. And I'm without the Dancing Bear because he is at Dallas Regional Day 2, talking to people, having fun. And I'm left here to do all the work. And a bunch of y'all have been wanting the Gardevoir list, so I'm here to deliver on that promise. Starting it off, 3 Ralts, 1 Curlia, 3 Guardy, 2 Vulpix, 2 Ninetales GX. We have 2 Mudkip, 1 Marshtomp, 2 Swampert, 1 Ditto for versatility. Also 1 of the baby Ninetales that has protection from GX and EX. Then we have 1 Cosmog, 1 Solgaleo GX, and 2 Tapu Lele for consistency. So a nice 3-1-3. You always want to play the one you'll notice in like the Swampert and the Gardevoir, just because you could run out of rare candies. So that's something to keep in mind. You're not going to need Solgaleo GX every matchup, but he's really nice to have get rid of weakness so you don't get one shot by metal stuff. Bisharp, if Gardevoir gets big, Bisharp could make a comeback, and that could be a lot of problems because Bisharp easily gets through the Ninetales with protection, and it easily one-shots Gardevoir since it does a base damage of 120 if it doesn't have any damage on it. So, and then it's of course one-shotting at Ninetales too. Ninetales mainly there to get the rare candies, but it does have a nice GX attack that can deal with Blacephalon pretty efficiently. So that's something to keep in mind. And you can easily power it up with Secret Spring. The heartbeat of the deck is the Swampert. We no longer have Octillery, so we have to have a draw engine. And Swampert is our best option. I'm not... I think if a better option comes along, then that's what you go with. We have tried Zebstrika and we liked it, but Swampert's also really good as a nice attacker against like Shuckle or Blacephalon, stuff like that. So he is very, very useful in that sense. 2 Lele just to help set up. Ditto for versatility because you can go into Curlia or Marshtomp from Ditto, or you can just go Ninetales. So Ditto is very, very necessary. Or you can put it on your protection Ninetales. So that's the Pokemon line. I feel like it's pretty standard, nothing crazy. So pick all this up. Next, for items, we've got the 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Rare Candy, 2 Choice Band, now some tech items, 1 Timer Ball, and 1 Fairy Charm Ultra Beast Protection. It's super awesome because you can slap it on and it has protection from Blacephalon or Buzzwole, because Buzzwole can give this deck problems, so it's nice to have that protection from Buzzwole. That way he can't snipe your Ralts on the bench. So, something to think about. It's also good against Blacephalon, like I said. 2 of the more popular decks, so a lot of value there. I wish it had protection from all Ultra Beasts. They can still get around it with Baby Buzz or the Naganadel baby, so it could be cut if you don't get enough value out of it. So something to think about. Timer Ball is a nice tech to grab with the Ninetales, and then 2 Choice Bands just so you don't have to depend so much on energy to get the plus 30 damage. So because a lot of these decks have very efficient attackers such as like Jolteon and even like the Buzzwole decks that you need the extra damage because they don't require a lot of energy. So, supporters, we've got 3 Professor Elm to get set up, 3 Cindy, 3 Guzma, 1 Lily. Not a lot of room for tech supporters. You could play around with Erica's Hospitality if you don't like the Lily, but it's nice to have that Lily just in case if you get a lot of Pokemon on your bench already, then to do a nice Lily could be more effective than Elm. And then after you get your Swampert set up, then kind of the same concept with like Zoroark. You just trade away your Elm or your Bridgets. So same thing with Swampert. You just power draw them away, get 3 fresh cards. And you can get all these back, all your items back with Twilight GX. So something to keep in mind. Most of the time, I'll go into the issues with the deck. You got 2 Brooklet Hill, and then the new Wonder Labyrinth. So Brooklet Hill, because Swampert is the most important piece of the deck. If you know how to play against Gardevoir, then you target down the Swamperts immediately. Shut off their drawing engine, and they're just kind of stuck in top deck mode because they're not able to play a higher supporter count like Cynthia or Lily or Erica's Hospitality because they rely on the power draw. So Brooklet Hill is very, very important. Plus it gets out the Vulpix. So a lot of use. You could change them for Nest Ball, but the versatility, or not the versatility, but the continuous use of Brooklet Hill is a little bit better than Nest Ball in our opinion. Wonder Labyrinth, it's perfect to slow down your opponents, but I mean nowadays everyone's playing stadiums, so you don't quite get the value that you should or that we would like to have. It gets bumped straight away typically on your opponent's turn, but it's nice to have it. It makes it so your opponent's Pokemon have to have 1 more energy to attack. So it definitely can slow down the more aggressive decks like the fighting decks and the Jolteon decks mainly. And that's what you want because those should be fairly popular. So anything you can do to shore up those 2 matchups is going to be a plus. Then finally the energy. Nothing crazy. We've got 8. You could go down to 7. 4, 1. You could go down to 7. You could cut, I think possible text is 1 Fairy Energy and the Ultra Beast Fairy Charm if you're not liking that. So I think if they make like a Electric Charm, that could be useful against Jolteon because Jolteon is probably your worst matchup. So something to think about. Super Boost, so if they play Shuckle, but you can also easily power up Swampert. Sometimes it's difficult to get 3 into play against like Blacephalon to use Swampert to attack. So something to keep in mind. It is harder than you think to get the Super Boost in hand and attach and get Swampert, say, in the active. So something to think about. But it is nice when it does work. But more often than not, it really doesn't, to be honest. Okay, Gardevoir. It's solid, but it does have some glaring, really bad matchups that are very concerning. Mainly the Jolteon. It's so aggressive, so fast. You always had problems with Buzzwole in this deck, and for that same reason, Jolteon is able to put that much more pressure on than Buzzwole because Electro Power plus Jolteon's 30 and 30. It's knocking out your Ralds. It's knocking out your little marsh stomp, not marsh stomps, but your Mudkips. So Jolteon's probably your absolute worst matchup. Buzzwole's going to be very tough. Wonder Labyrinth does help, but not quite enough, folks. I think that's about it as far as like terrible matchups. Um, Blazion, you're still going to struggle against Blazion because it can easily reach 230. Um, and it takes less to set up, so and then it discards its energy, so you have to spend so many resources to knock out their Blazion. So Blazevon's still a bad matchup. So is Jolteon. So is Buzzwole. So other than that, I think it's a good deck. It's solid. But those are three really bad matchups, folks. You don't want to be taking L's to those three decks. I wouldn't. Not going into the next format. So something to keep in mind. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Any questions, concerns, by all means, leave in the comments, and I will try to answer them as quick as possible. So, yeah, till next time, be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.